Screeching guitars, thumping bass, hysterical fans. Pontus J is a rock musician and lives a wild life. But the fear of death is his constant companion, and the vodka his seemingly best friend. Welcome to Mensch, Gott, and welcome Pontus J.
Thank you very much.
At what time did you realize that you want to become a rock musician?
I had that as a dream as a little child, and I guess I was 3 years old when I knew how to sing rock around the clock, like 1, 2, 3 o'clock rock. And I got my first guitar at 4. I started to learn to play the blues a little bit, and I listened to Elvis Presley, and I wanted to be like him, and that was like a childhood dream that I carried over the years.
What was so fascinating of this lifestyle?
I don't know. The music, to play for people, and I don't know, maybe the fame. As a child, it was more like music, because I loved to sing, I loved to play my guitar, and it was things I loved to do.
At what time did you get to a band or play together with a band?
I started my first band, The Killers, with me and the drummer. I think we were 10 years old, and we started in a garage. We had concerts in the garage, and my cousin, she came and watched the concerts, and she bought 1 ticket. So that's where it all started. So it's quite a funny thing.
You finally got it. You are famous. You played with what? With what rock band did you play with?
I played with different rock bands over the years, and it started in 1995 in London when I met Mickey Moody, who used to be in the original lineup of Whitesnake, and that's how it started. But over the years I played with different bands. I played with members from Lynyrd Skynyrd, Molly Hatchet, Status Quo, and Mickey Moody from Whitesnake, and Cinderella, Tangier. So, but those are all regular people, normal people.
But you know that saying, sex, drugs and rock and roll, is that cliche, right?
Some people try to live up to that saying, but to me it was more the drugs and rock and roll, because I found my love at the age of 18, and I didn't want to... my marriage and my relationship with my wife has always been important to me.
You said you have the drugs, the rock and roll. What was it like?
It was not a fun life. It was because I couldn't survive without alcohol and drugs. So that's why I had to use it, because I was an alcoholic, and I became an alcoholic at a very young age. So the alcohol had been following me from when I was 12 years old, when I opened the bottle for the first time.
And you opened the bottle with 12, and finally, when you were 25, how much did you drink a day?
At that time, I don't know how much I drank, because I didn't count, but I drank a lot of beer every day. I drank bottles of vodka, but it escalated all the time. So in the real days, from 2001, 2004, I had my first alcohol cramp, because I tried to sober up. I went to a clinic, tried to search for help, and when the alcohol got out of my body, below 2 promille in my blood, I got this seizure and woke up at the hospital. So I was drinking estimately 3 big bottles of vodka every day.
And how was a day look like when you were on tour, drinking 3 bottles of vodka?
It looked like I had to start drinking in bed in my hotel room, and to get up from bed, because I was shaking, I was hungover. I didn't eat good, I didn't sleep good, and then of course when I drank, I got drunk.
10 o'clock in the morning, right? To get out of bed.
Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. Went to bed probably at 5, 6 o'clock, so no much sleep. And drinking all during the day, and using drugs, smoking weed and hash and stuff like that.
Can you remember an event or a story which was very bad for you at that time?
there are so many bad experiences from the road. When we had to hire a personal assistant to take care of me and my drinking and my fear, to help me. And some concerts we did in Holland, he had to stand and hold me while I was playing and do the singing, because I couldn't get there. I was hyperventilating because of my anxiety.
Mm. You said you had fears. What was the fear about?
Fear of death. I was scared of dying. I thought I was going to die every day. Every day I had a hangover. Every day I thought I was going to die. Every day I didn't feel good. I thought I was going to die.
When did you realize that you had these fears?
The fear came into my life as a little child, when a dear friend of my family died. I saw the sorrow, I saw the tears of my mother and my father. I saw the tears of his family, and I loved this man. And all of a sudden he was gone, and I didn't know where he went to go. I didn't know what happened when we die. And I think many people think about things like what happened, what's life like after death. And to me it was something horrible, because the tears I had seen and the sorrow, and to be gone and I don't know where. And also, on the other hand, I didn't know where I came from, because when I was born, my biological mother, she gave me away. And I was probably 3-4 years old when one of my cousins told me that I'm not part of the family, I've come from somewhere else. And then I got lost, because I didn't have an identity. I didn't know where I came from, and I didn't know where I was going. So basically I didn't know who I am.
Did you get in contact with God or religious things? Or?
No, I grew up in a good home. I was adopted, and I love my mom and dad who raised me. I came to a really good home and had a wonderful childhood. And today I wish I had spoke to mom and dad about my fear that I had inside, but I thought it was nothing to talk about. I thought it was probably stupid. But I remember in childhood I had nightmares and things like this. And then at the age of 12, of course, I went to Sunday school, and back then in school they taught religion. They had like religion class, and we read the Bible. I remember we had a children's Bible with pictures, and I still remember the pictures I had of Jesus in my head when I was a child, when he healed people, but still I didn't have that belief in God.
Mm. You became a rock musician as a teenager. You toured around the world?
It started in 1995, so I already had been an alcoholic in my teenage years. I played with local bands, and for some years there I had the guitar on the shelf. I didn't play, I did other things, and I tried to run a business that went bankrupt because of my drinking habits. And then in 1995, when I went to London, I started to tour, and then I was 23 years old.
How is a touring life look like? A tour lasts how long? Two months?
It depends on the tour. Sometimes you can be on a tour for 1 week, but I played with many bands. I was a member of probably 3 bands at a time, so I could be away from home for 2 or 3 months. I remember one tour I played with Skinny Molly. We ended the tour in London, and I stayed one night in London. Then I flew to Italy to start the next tour with a band from New York City. So these tours connected to each other, and I was away from home a lot.
You said you married your first love, or?
Yeah.
But you toured around the world. Did you miss your family?
always miss my family.
You already got children, right?
Yeah. I had 94. We had our first son, Sebastian, and in '97 we had twin daughters, Jennifer and Jessica, and in '99 we had our youngest daughter, Jeanette. And these children, they never really had a father, because I was always away. And
did you notice something from their childhood? Did you get along with them? Did you play with them, talk with them on the phone, or?
Yeah, I talked with them on the phone, but I believe that a child can sense that a parent, if he's drunk and he's not, if I don't have my act together, my child will see it.
We have asked your son how he experienced this time.
What was your relationship like?
Yeah.
He was on tour most of the time. When he was home, he was mostly drunk.
And how do you remember your father?
Full.
Drunk.
Excuse me, but it seems to me a very bad judgment on you being a father. He was full.
Full, yeah, I was drunk. That was, he's speaking the truth. And that's what I had a hard part with, to accept the hurt I caused my children and my family during all the years I was an alcoholic.
How did you get along with that feeling? Because you said you want to go home, you missed them, and on the other hand, you were on tour.
Because I couldn't stop drinking. Drinking was part of my life. I was so addicted. And already when I was a teenager, people told me, you need to quit drinking because you're going to become an alcoholic. But I always thought, that won't happen to me. Why would that happen to me? But I was an alcoholic. I became a bad alcoholic. And an alcoholic puts the alcohol first. It was more important for me to have money for alcohol than to have money for food for my family, because my body couldn't survive without alcohol.
Did you talk with someone about your problem?
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine. I met him the same year I met my wife, and he was always there for me. And I knew he was a Christian, but he never really condemned me or judged my lifestyle. He listened and spoke hope into me. But because I had had bad experiences of Christians, I didn't want to have anything to do with God or Jesus, because I have had Christians lie about me. I had Christians condemn me. Christians look at me as a less worth person. And I know that many of these Christians who said bad things about me, they spoke the truth. But there's a way to reach people with the message of Jesus Christ. And that's not to tell people you're the son of Satan or you're full of demons and things like this. Because if I don't believe in the Word of God, how would I believe in evil spirits and demons? I thought all these Christians, they're crazy. They think they're demons and there's evil spirits, and I didn't like to hear what they said.
And what did this friend of you, what did he tell you?
He always told me there's hope, and he said that Jesus loves me, and he said that it's no good for me to drink, and I knew that. And the best thing he did, he was listening to me. And I believe that when we speak out our problems to somebody, something happens. But also when you speak out things, I spoke out the fear. Like when I had the fear, I said, I think I'm gonna die, and I thought I had heart attacks. I became a hypochondriac, so I thought I had all kinds of diseases. So when I spoke that out with my mouth, the same words came into my ears and went into me. So basically, it was a bad circle going around because I was complaining.
This hypochondriac thing.
Yeah, because I spoke out names of diseases like cancer, heart attack, stroke. I spoke out and believed I had it.
So at that time you heard yourself?
Yeah, because of course I hear my own words.
And you thought you had these diseases.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
It was horrible. Like the fear inside of me messed up my mind. So I thought if I was a little bit sick somewhere, I always thought the worst. I thought it was cancer. I thought it was a heart attack. I thought it was a stroke. And I read medical books and the symptoms, and I read online, tried to find out what my problem was. And when I was home, I went almost every second day to the hospital to search help because I thought I had something.
And at the hospital, they could help you?
Yeah, they said there's nothing wrong with you. Stop drinking and you will be fine.
So you had this fears until a hypochondriac state,
yeah.
And you had this alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And you had a family.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking about in the times in between the tours? For example, when you were on a ferry waiting for a train or a bus, what were you thinking about at that time?
The next drink. I was holding a drink in my hand, thinking about the next one.
And when you came home, you just thought, where's the next drink?
No, there were times when I wanted to make a change in my life. I wanted to be a better father and a better husband, but it never worked out. I tried so many times in my own strength to leave the alcohol, leave the drugs, and never worked.
Did the band members notice that you were an alcoholic?
Yeah.
How did they react?
They reacted very negative. It was a problem because I was such a bad alcoholic, I became a problem for the whole band.
You have to explain that.
For example, when we toured, I was a mess, and I couldn't operate the way I should operate. I still could play for some reason, but between the shows, I was a mess, complaining. I had the fear, and I was not good company.
So you said you got a guy, an assistant?
Yeah, we had an assistant, and his job was to tell me, you're not gonna die. Every time I thought that I was gonna die, his job was to tell me, you're not gonna die. Because then he said something positive that went in through my ears, and I believed it, and I was better.
And how often did he tell you that, approximately, on a day?
I don't know, but many times a day.
Okay.
Yeah, many times a day. But one day he said, we're all gonna die. And then he got fired.
From the band?
Yeah, from the tour party.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that was the wrong answer.
Did you ever try a detoxification from alcohol? Did you ever try that? To get rid of it?
Yeah, but that was when I had my alcohol cramp. I went to a clinic and broke myself in 2004. And I stayed there for 20 minutes. And I took a cab home, but in the cab on the way home, I had this seizure. An alcohol cramp looks like a epileptic seizure. Mm-hmm. And I woke up at the hospital, and it was blood everywhere. I had bitten my tongue into pieces, and I was connected to cables and hoses. And the doctor said, just told me that you're killing yourself. You can't continue like this.
And what did you do in that hospital?
I stayed there for some days, and they gave me medication. So I was sober for some time, but I was still doing drugs, and I didn't have anything to do with any Christian things or anything. I was still doing tours, but I didn't drink, and I have to thank my band members like Mike Estes who used to be in Leonard Skinner, because when I didn't drink, he didn't drink. So he supported me. He knew my problem. And it was a day when I was flying back home. I had been sober for I don't know how many months, when I was sitting on an airport seeing people drinking beer. When I just thought that I'm going to have one beer. And I had a beer.
At the airport?
Yeah, and then I had a second.
At the airport?
Yeah. I
And
had
on
a
the
third.
plane?
On the plane. And I stayed on only beer for a time. And I was proud of myself that I could only drink beer, and I didn't get a hangover. I was drinking 6 beers, a 6-pack every night. But then, you know, in Finland where I live, it's cold. And I got the flu, and I remember Jägermeister. I used to drink a lot of Jägermeister. I could drink like a big bottle of Jägermeister. So I bought a small bottle of Jägermeister as medicine.
Mm.
I was basically lying to myself. Mm. And when I drank that first bottle, I felt the heat that the alcohol brings, and my body started to like it again. So I was drinking my 6 to 12 beers every night with a small bottle of Jägermeister. Then I was going to save money, because a small bottle of Jägermeister is more expensive than buying a big bottle of Jägermeister. And I was going to drink just a little bit every night from that bottle. But it didn't work that way. I drank that whole bottle the same night, and the following morning, the fear was back, the panic was back, and I had a hangover. And what do? You go and get another bottle. And there we go again.
In March 2006, there came the total collapse, the complete breakdown. You sat in a hotel room. What happened there?
Well, we had been on a tour for probably 3 weeks. And I hadn't been sleeping, I hadn't been eating. I was shaking. All I could do was drink. I was throwing up blood because I had ulcers in my stomach. And when we did that concert in Helsinki, was the first time that I really messed up on stage. I couldn't play. I was so drunk. And this affected the other band members. And I also heard from the promoter that I was too drunk. So I isolated myself in the hotel room, and I was so scared. I was sure I was going to die. The ambulance had to come there because I thought I had a heart attack. They said I don't have a heart attack. And then I was there alone. I had only 2 people who picked up the phone. It was during the night time. My wife was awake. She talked to me that everything will be fine during the night. And during the daytime, I called my friend who had been telling me about Jesus and asking me if he could pray for me. And I told him to not pray for me.
And at that night in the hotel room, whom did you call? Who did you call?
The 1st of March, I called my Christian friend. And he said something very special that day. He said that today is the day of salvation, and you need to give your life to Jesus. And when he said that, these pictures from my childhood of Jesus, that he died on the cross, from my confirmation, and words that he had told me about Jesus, everything just came like plop from somewhere. So I had the knowledge of that Jesus is a Savior, that he died also for me, and I wanted to receive that free gift of salvation, but I didn't know how to get saved. I thought I had to go to the church and order a time, fill in a paper, an application form. I want to get saved, and then they want my social security number, and then they're gonna charge me 70. I don't know why I thought, but I thought they was gonna charge me salvation tax, 70 euros, and then they're gonna stamp the paper, and then they're gonna give me a time to see a priest or a pope or whatever.
And then you were saved? No.
Yeah, but that's not the way. My friend said, you know, Jesus is there with you. All you have to do is realize you're a sinner. I said, I have no problem realizing a sinner because I felt so bad for my family being home, my children not having a father, and me just being a mess. So he said that you can be saved. If you mean it with your heart, we can pray right now if you want to give your life to Jesus. And he led me in the prayer of salvation. And at that time, I was so excited. I thought that I was so sure that Jesus was going to help me.
But you're going to be healthy again.
Yeah, I thought everything will happen right away. But I didn't feel anything. And I got disappointed. And I hung up the phone with my friend, and I was sitting on the bed, and I crossed my hands. And I said, Jesus, if you're real, help me. And I started to speak to him like he was there. And this conversation was something I never done before with Jesus. I told him my problems. I said, I just need to sleep. I can't sleep. Because for years I was sleeping for 15 minutes, woke up shaking. I had to take the bottle of vodka from next to the bed, drink the vodka, and force it to stay inside of me until it started to work, so I calmed down so I could sleep again. And I told him this, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to sleep. And next thing I know, I wake up 8 hours later.
A full night of sleep?
Yeah. And I hadn't slept a full night of sleep for years. And today I know it was Jesus that answered my prayer, that I needed to sleep because I had rested. I could leave the hotel, I could eat, I got energy. So we did some gigs, and after when tour was over, I went home.
And you became a proper Christian, like going to church on Sunday morning?
No. I didn't want to go to church. Because I didn't want to see those Christians who condemn me and judge finger and look at my long hair, look at my arms. What would you say if you were a religious pastor, if I came in like this into your church?
It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
No, but you know as much as I know that there are people, Christians, who think it matters. They judge you because of the outside. They probably heard I've been an alcoholic, and they want to have their suit and ties. And I was sick of that. It made me want to puke when I looked at some of the Christians.
At that phase of your life, what happened to the fears and to the alcohol addiction?
The thing was, Jesus set me free. I was still doing drugs. I was smoking pot, but I didn't drink. And when people saw me in my hometown, they said, Pontus, something is different. What have happened? You're sober. I said, I quit drinking. And that was a mistake saying that, because I never quit drinking. It was Jesus who set me free. And when I said I quit drinking, I took the glory from God and made myself God, like God, that it was something I did, but never managed to do it in my own strength. And Jesus set me free, and I took the glory from him.
Thank you very much for being so friendly.
Thank you.
After 20 years as an alcoholic, the Finnish rock musician Pontus J seeks help from God. However, after the prayer, it is not better, but rather worse. He crashes completely and his life is in highest danger. We talk about this and his dramatic rescue next time. You get more information on our ERF Mediathek or on our YouTube channel. Thanks for today. Until next time, at Mensch, Gott.
If you have any questions regarding this program, feel free to contact us. You can call us at 0049 6441 957 1414 or write an email to menschgott@erf.de.